Well, hey guys, hey, we're here. I was able to corner down our chief scientific officer and co-founder of Asili, my good friend Dr. Thomas Cutler. Hey guys, this is Odair Diaz, director of business, global business development for Asili, and I'm here. I cornered him, I pinned him down. Got a couple things we want to discuss with you, my fine sir. I'm excited about the Zen80. A lot of things are happening. You and I were actually having a discussion today. Something that you read that really caught your attention, having to do with the pandemic and everything happening. Let's touch a little bit on that, which I think leads us straight into some of the benefits that people can get with our Zen80 based on what you and I were talking about today.
Yeah, well, thanks for pinning me down. You're one of the few people that can. The thing I was reading today, I had read an article from the American Psychological Association, and they did this survey called Stress in America, published the results in February, and this was really an evaluation of how the global pandemic, COVID, has affected people in different ways. And some of the things that were just glaring were like an increase in anxiety levels in like over 30% of adults. 42% of adults reported pretty significant weight gains, like 29 pounds, and that's the kind of stuff like unmanaged or poorly managed stress in your life is really taking a toll, and it's manifesting itself now in other things. So
And I think a lot of us are experiencing that. We're not just spectators, right? So that's real. It hits us hard. So I'm glad we have a product in Zen80. Now, it seems like a saturated market, Dr. Cutler. Why Zen80? Why Asili Zen80? How does ours differentiate? Why does it stand out?
Yeah, good question. And it's something that we took a lot of time to evaluate. It is a saturated market. For years, we didn't want to be any at all in the hemp space. Part of that was due to legalities. Like there was some really undefined, at least in the United States, some really undefined legislation that until recently had created ambiguity. Didn't want to get involved in that. With the passage of the so-called Farm Bill in 2018, that's really established some clear guidelines about what's acceptable and what's not. Product meets all of those levels, and it deals with the psychoactive element of hemp or cannabis, that delta 9 THC level, and our product, we tested it really extensively. There's no traces of it, at least to the detection levels that we can get, and we're at parts per million, and so. We feel really good about that. That gave us a lot of confidence. Number one, that we're not entering into kind of a gray area in terms of legality. Some people have that concern still, but in the United States, hemp is completely legal. Our product complies with all of the requirements to meet that legislation. Some of the other things that I think are really critical to note about Zen80 is the other thing that's really ambiguous is there's a lot of conflicting data
Out there, yeah.
in the scientific literature about the effectiveness of CBD, of cannabinoids, cannabidiol in particular, and most products give really irreproducible results. Like you don't know if one day it'll work or if it works with one person, if it'll work with another, and as this marketplace has evolved, like we now see, there's actually much more than just CBD that's involved. It's other cannabinoids that interact with our own cannabinoid system, our endocannabinoid system, and so CBD plus CBN or CBG or CBA or varins, or some of the terpenes that are involved. All of these play a complementary and role in activating the endocannabinoid system and the downstream effects of that master regulatory system. So having a product where you've actually done research on the product itself is something that stands all by itself in the marketplace. Our competitors are great. We enjoy competing with them. None of their products have gone through this ringer. None of them. And what I mean by that is a very clean, iterative process, starting from, okay, we want to actually make sure the oil is available in the body. So we look at bioavailability, and then to the next point, the absorption is the body actually assimilating it. You know, are you getting the oil to where it needs to be, and then it's in that area where it needs to be, is it actually being incorporated? And then on a bigger scale, okay, now let's start to look at specific downstream benefits of activating the endocannabinoid system. Do we see improvements in oxidative stress, is stress management, sleep, or the metabolic effects of activating the endocannabinoid system? Are those benefits real? And that's what has really turned us on in terms of this product. Is, you know, we have data that's done at really some of the best levels of science at the Mayo Clinic, with NIH sponsored grants and research funding. So it's not like we're talking out the side of our mouth. Like this is real. Like people can.
It's substantiated.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's real science, and you as a scientist believe in this product. Obviously, very careful what you bring into your company. Tell me more. There's this proprietary technology. I've been listening to some other training videos that we've done. There's a proprietary technology in Zen80 that's really setting the product apart. I don't know if you can speak on that a little bit. You know what I mean? Some of that, and
you bet. Yeah. So there's a couple things that set our product apart. Our what I call our nano encapsulation, or Azorb, we brand it Azorb technology, is really what makes oil water dispersible. The particle size is roughly between 20-25 nanometers, small enough to get through tissue and cells. Bigger particles, like if you get into the kind of the liposome technology, those are bigger molecules. Those are more in the 200 nanometer range, and those have problems passing, being absorbed and assimilated into cells. So we say size matters in this case. Smaller is better, and being able to traverse cellular membranes because you're a smaller particle size is a big deal. So that's one of the things that I think is really key, because when you consume the product, take the product, it's sublingual absorption, meaning you're in the cavity of your mouth underneath your tongue, where you have a very well developed blood or vasculature system, blood vessel system. You can leave the oil right there for a few 30 to 60 seconds, and you're going to really absorb quite a bit. That sublingual absorption is key, because we totally bypass what would traditionally happen with an oil suspension or droplet. When you consume that, you swallow it, goes through your digestive tract normally. From the small intestines, it gets pulled into the liver, and that's where that same type of encapsulation, that nano encapsulation called micellization, takes place in the liver. But you dramatically reduce the amount of product that you absorb. I mean, it goes from maximum maybe 5-8% absorption, total absorption, and the length of time is anywhere from 60 to 120 minutes. I mean, it's a pretty long period of time. With Azorb technology, you get absorption taking place in 15 minutes ish. There's plus or minus 5-10 minutes here or there, and you're getting more than 80% of the product absorbed. So that's one of the key pieces of technology, where liposome technology, I like liposomes for different things, but in this particular case, it's to a detriment, because it's too big, they're unstable, and again, they're really not facilitating any improved absorption.
Yeah, so far as the consumer, what I can understand is I'm going to get more of the product be absorbed in my body. There's clinical data to substantiate why it's better. But one thing I noticed is that you deliberately set the price. You can set this product to be priced out of the world, but you set it very competitive. As a matter of fact, lower than what a lot of competition is doing with their crappy product. What's the reason behind that? You as the founder of the company, why you wanted to set it at a price that's affordable?
Well, maybe we should raise the price right from the get-go. Our philosophy is we look for and develop products that are high value, but that are within the reach of everybody. Like we want to have our customers being able to purchase the product at a competitive price. What we offer to our customers is typically what our competitors are offering to their distributors, and so that's something that's really important to us. We know that we know the product works. I mean, just in our little outside of the clinical setting, in our pilot studies, we saw amazing feedback. I mean, really amazing feedback, and that's with friends and family that are they all want to be guinea pigs and stuff. But being able to have this kind of confirmation, and then again being able to say, hey, look, this product is, hey, you can get this at a really affordable price. That's part of Vasili.
Let me tell you something. I'm grateful as I just started consuming the product because during COVID I was diagnosed with severe sleep apnea, and it's not good to be sleepy and tired. So I'm grateful it's affordable. I started taking it, and I'm beginning to feel much better. Let me tell you that. One last thing. I know you're busy. But there's a lot of education that needs to happen still around hemp and marijuana, and people think, oh, you're getting high, this and that. Can you shed a little light on that? Kind of the differences that this is not a narcotic. This is.
Yeah, well, that's part of why hemp and CBD has languished so much in terms of research. Is cannabis is classified as a Schedule I drug. And so labs haven't wanted to touch it with a 50-foot pole because then they've got to register with the DEA and do all that jazz. And anyway, the hemp and marijuana aren't scientific terms. You're not classifying product by whether it's hemp or marijuana. Like there's not a hemp plant and a marijuana plant. They both come from cannabis, but the amount of psychoactive cannabinoid called it's affectionately known as THC or tetrahydrocannabinoid is what determines whether a plant is a marijuana plant or a hemp plant. Now, hemp is more recognized because it's usually a little bit taller type of cannabis plant that's used with like textiles and other fibrous kind of things, but it's also has a lot of much more elevated cannabidiol production than say other sister plants within that same species where there's more THC. And we talk about GMOs and stuff. We don't want to get into that, but there's definitely been a cultivation of plants that have more psychoactive element versus cannabidiol element. So any plant or product that has 0.3% or more of THC is considered marijuana, and anything less than that is considered hemp. Right. So it's kind of a legal definition, not necessarily a scientific definition, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
And our product is registered 0.0% THC. We've done pretty extensive testing to the part per million detection limits, which is tiny amounts, and it comes back always non-detected. So anyway, Zen80 ends up being there's not for us. We resolved that issue in terms of legalities a long time ago. It's one of the reasons why we were comfortable bringing this product.
I'll tell you what, as a layman's person, I don't understand all the tech, but what I can take away from your time, and I'm so grateful you allow me, what I can take away from Zen80 is we got the substantiation behind it. Anti-inflammatory properties, be able to sleep better. We're gonna enjoy that. It's priced very fair for what we're getting, and I'm able to absorb it better. So that's something easy that I can share. 5 points right there that I can share with people what makes our product different. Thank you. That means a lot to me as a consumer and taking this product. So thank you for your time. I know you're busy. Really appreciate it. Catch you guys next time.
You're good.
Enjoy.
Thanks, man.